It's a great day for cats and dogs. The United States Navy has officially ended all medical testing on dogs and cats. Secretary of the Navy John Phelan announced the decision this week, stating it was, quote, long overdue and would save taxpayer dollars. We strongly support this move. Some of the experiments being done had zero medical value, and they seemed deeply cruel. With cats, listen to this. With cats, the experiments involved implanting spinal electrodes to induce erections via electric shock. I know the military has a lot of things to research, but I don't know. Like right now, the military cannot hit a moving target with a hypersonic weapon. So maybe, just maybe, we should focus more on capabilities to deter China and less on whether or not the United States military can induce an erection in a cat with electric shock therapy. They also had tests that involved inserting marbles into rectums to force defecation, and they severed the spinal cords of these animals to cause paralysis. Beagles were subjected to high doses of experimental drugs to assess toxicity, despite such tests not being required by the FDA. Many procedures had no application to human medicine or any military health needs. Yeah, I guess giving the cat a boner with an electric shock wasn't key to military health needs. The tests used techniques to develop, things that really have been replaced decades ago with more modern, accurate technology, non-animal research models. There's no public record of any of these crazy experiments ever leading to a single breakthrough or peer-reviewed medical advancement. This move follows public backlash and investigations revealing these controversial experiments, including a $10 million contract involving these invasive procedures on cats. The decision aligns with broader federal trends to reduce animal testing in favor of more effective, scientific, modern alternatives. Joining us now, Chief Spokesperson for Secretary of the United States Navy John Phelan, Kristina Wong. And Kristina, before I get to the subject of our interview, I just have to say, I think like a wormhole might have just opened in the universe because I was such a fan of your journalism. I was occasionally the subject of your journalism. And now I get to be the journalist asking you questions as a public official, which is a total delight in the golden age of Trump. But let us know what went into this decision to end these horrible tests on cats and dogs.
Yes, thank you so much for having me on the show. There are several key people who led to this decision. First of all, RFK, DOGE, journalist Laura Loomer and her exclusive reporting on this issue, animal advocacy group White Coat Waste, Senator Rand Paul, among others, and of course, President Trump and Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth. As soon as Navy Secretary John Phelan was made aware, he took action. He canceled a $15 million contract that allowed for electroshock therapy testing on cats. And he also banned any Navy-funded medical research testing on cats and dogs. And he ordered the Navy Surgeon General to review all medical research programs to make sure they're aligned with ethical guidelines, scientific necessity, and the Navy's core values of integrity and readiness.
I really was impressed with that list you read because it showcases how diverse the group of people can be to come together for a really reasonable solution for our cats and dogs. That's really remarkable. So is this ban temporary or permanent, Kristina?
Well, this is permanent, at least during this administration. As you know, President Trump is committed to phasing out animal testing, and so is Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth. So we at the Navy, we're committed to carrying out that commitment.
And it really is great that you've righted this wrong, but any reasonable person would look at this and say, why were these tests allowed to go on for so long without medical value?
Well, we really can't talk about what previous administrations have done and why, but as soon as the secretary was made aware of this, he took action, and it just made sense from an ethical standpoint and also a fiscal standpoint.
Yeah, it really did. Now that these tests aren't going to happen, we feel like our humanity is vindicated. We feel like we're less cruel, but we also feel like the funds will probably be used for a better purpose. Can you tell us maybe how these funds might be used more efficaciously going forward?
Yes, so the secretary is committed to accountability, efficiency and getting the Navy to a clean audit. But he's also extremely focused on improving the lives of sailors and Marines and doing things like fixing barracks and improving their quality of life. So I think that's where the funds will go towards.
Those all seem like far more virtuous uses of taxpayer dollars than severing the spinal cords of cats and torturing beagles. Kristina Wong, Chief Spokesperson for the Secretary of the Navy, thank you so much for coming on the program and sharing the Department of Defense's perspective.
Thank you so much for having me on, Matt.